Hey guys, and welcome to this little video. Christian here from Quilster. I'm Nick. I love Star Wars. It's the best thing ever. Christian hasn't really seen it before.
I haven't really got into the Star Wars thing.
He watched the old films like barely and watched it.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Either way, you've got your homework was to watch the original A New Hope from 1977.
Yeah.
So we both watched it. We're going to talk about it. What do you think?
I think it was actually great, but I couldn't stop seeing all the techniques mistakes.
Yeah.
But I kind of love them in a way because when
we should point out you watched the Blu-ray version. Which
I watched the Blu-ray version.
The newest updated version.
Yeah, so it wasn't ugly. But I also watched some scenes from
you got the original. Yeah.
And I think that maybe I like that more because it's more old school.
I can see that. I think when the Blu-ray came out, or maybe when the special edition came out in '77 on DVD, it's like that was at the peak of what we have of effects.
Yeah.
But at this point, there are effects that are better than the Blu-ray version, which is why it looks older, and that's the problem with effects. Where then, if you see something that's really old, you can sort of accept. It's sort of easier to see something that's really old, except just a little bit old.
Yeah, exactly. But I saw some mistakes, but I could also see them on the Blu-ray. And especially with the lightsabers.
Yeah.
When they are, I think I heard that they're actually drawn on.
Yeah. Frame by frame.
Yeah, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the sword, you can see that it's flipping out.
Yeah.
But that's maybe the old school.
Yeah, I mean they went frame by frame and I think painted on the actual film and stuff like that. That's hardcore work.
That's really hardcore. And
now we just go like, this lightsaber.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually made a lightsaber myself. Like the old school version because you have to draw.
But you made it in a film.
I made it in a film, just to try it out, and so I know how hard it is, and I think that they pulled it off quite right, quite good for a film from the 70s.
All right, but so, what do you think of the characters? What do you think of the action? What I want to hear details. Who did you like? Who didn't you like?
I think.
What do you think? Yeah, plot.
I can try to pronounce and try to remember the names, but I love R2-D2 of course, and I also like Groot. So I think they're kind
Groot?
And he's not in the Star Wars. I know that, but so I think that he is kind of the.
You think R2-D2?
Yeah, because he's not saying anything that you can understand, but his best friend knows what he's saying.
You know what? You were totally wrong. Groot is Chewbacca. You got Han Solo and Star-Lord, and then they got the tall brown thing that just goes.
Yeah, that's right. So,
but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so I actually like the two droids, and I can't remember what the goal
C-3PO.
C-3PO. Yeah. So I like their conversations.
Yeah.
I also liked Luke Skywalker, but I think in the beginning, he is. He's to me he's kind of this nice guy.
Yeah, I mean the thing about the way it works is he is sort of in a lot of ways the boring character.
Yeah,
he's the hero who, I mean, a lot of people will like Han Solo more because he's cooler and stuff.
Yeah.
Where Luke is the good guy.
From zero.
Yeah, and he's sort of it's his adventure. He's sort of the straight guy in a way as well. Yeah. So I think a lot of people feel that way. Luke gets cooler in the other films, I think. But there's also, I mean, you need a hero, and I think he does that job, and I think he's an okay hero.
He's an okay hero, but there's something that I don't get. For example, I think I can spoil the end because
we're gonna spoil everything.
Who haven't watched it.
Yeah.
So I think that in the end of the fourth movie, it is. I don't get why he's the one.
Episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4. I don't get why he's the one who can make the shot, and not all the others. Who is trained for the mission, trained for the
he's using the Force.
He's using the Force. Yeah,
he's a Jedi. Yeah, that's why he's like, switch off your targeting computer, and he's like, oh, believe it, Luke. Yeah. And then he knows. That's why the other guy, the pilot before, he shoots, but he hits it because he's a really good pilot, but it doesn't go in.
It's bending for Luke.
It's like they're flying in this canyon sort of thing, and there's a hole which is like the exhaust where air gets in and out, and they need to. So I mean, they need to like drop the bomb, so it's that will also be in speed, so it will like slowly drop, and then they need to time it. Like if you're.
But I think that when I saw it, isn't it like it's just bending?
Yeah, but that's the arc of it's like imagine if you were flying in a plane.
Yeah.
And you're flying over a house and you need to drop something on it. Because you're in speed, when you drop it will go like forward a little bit and then go in an arc.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they need to do with this bomb or missile.
Yeah.
Proton torpedoes. And then they need to drop it into the hole. So the guy who's a really good pilot, he just drops it and it like hits like the edge of the exhaust, so it blows up that part. It'll blow up a part of it, but it doesn't go in. Where Luke, like through the Force, can feel the exact split second where he needs to, which the computer is not good enough. I mean, that's like
his reaction is better than the computer.
Yeah, because the Force tells him what to do.
Yeah, the Force or Obi-Wan.
Yeah, no, but Obi-Wan tells him use the Force, and then he like that's the thing where the Force is a lot about instinct, and in that way, in our world, it's like when you have that hunch or feeling about something, it's trusting in that, and that's using the Force.
So I kind of like the first movie, and when I was done, I was like, I can see why people love this, but I sort of had this idea of it was going to be better or bigger, but I think
the first one is like simpler in a lot of ways than the next one.
And I think it's building up very slow, and I was in the whole movie I was sitting, when are they using the lightsabers to duel each other? And the only duel there is between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan.
But the thing that even Lucas said that about making the prequels was, in all the old ones, it's like half man, half robot, old man, like that, like a Luke later, like not proper trained. Those are the people fighting. That's why he wanted in episode 1 to have like Jedis at their prime fighting each other.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the way it is. It is a different style, and I think for people who haven't watched it, it's for you it's huge expectations, because I'm saying it's the best film ever, and also it is old. So I loved it when I was younger, but I would wonder what I would think if I hadn't seen it before, because it is older films and stuff.
and actually, as you said, I would love to watch them not knowing what's going on.
Because it is different. Like exactly. Everyone's like, "Oh, you haven't seen this?" And then you're sort of expecting to love it in a way.
I think maybe I expect too much, but I actually, when I was done, and I think for 2 hours or something, I had this feeling that I would love to watch the second one. Or the
most people's favorite is Empire, which is the next one we'll watch. And when I was a kid, the Return of the Jedi was my favorite. And I think a lot of it, you will like it more when you've seen them and like rewatched them and get the references and some of that stuff.
So I think I like the characters more now when I think about them, and that's maybe because time has passed and I want to see the next one. So I'm kind of excited to do this project. And
the other thing is, like, you've played Star Wars video games and like, so those and like, talking about it, that gets cooler. And then when you rewatch the film, you're like, oh, that's like that. So it's like the way like the universe built, I think, is probably the coolest part.
Yeah, because I know some stuff from especially the Lego game. I've played that a lot.
Was that the?
That's the one where I don't know if
it's the classic trilogy, the all of the films, or the Clone Wars one.
I think it's it was the first one, and I think only episode 1, 2, and 3 was in the cinema when it came out.
Okay.
So I
But it was the films that you were playing in the game.
Yeah, it was the film in chapters. So I played them a lot, and I liked them. So I kind of think that I think I know the universe. But then when I watch the movies, I can see that I don't know that much.
But part of it is also, and you'll get more of that in the later films, like, lightsaber is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The Force is fucking awesome. Some of the planes are awesome. You'll get more of that later. And then you're in that problem of having seen some of that in video games and in the prequels.
Yeah.
Where, whether you like it or not, the lightsaber fighting is cooler.
Yeah.
At least some of it. And then it makes the old stuff look worse. And I had that problem with The Matrix, where I think the first film is the better one, but after seeing Reloaded, and what was the third one called? Revolution.
Revolution, yeah.
I think the fighting and like all the action in the first one looked worse because I'd seen better stuff, but the film was better, so it kind of fucked everything up a little bit.
But I think that in the third episode, in the end scene,
episode 3.
Yeah, episode 3. With is that Luke Skywalker and.
No, episode 3. Luke starts in episode 4. It's Anakin in episode.
It's 3. Anakin, yeah, right. I love that battle scene, and I watched that all over.
Oh, the fight with Obi-Wan?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I also watched the battle between Darth Maul.
Yeah.
And
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Yeah, in episode 1.
And that's also very cool. So
right.
I know.
I think actually, you know what? It's cool we're mentioning that stuff, but I think we shouldn't spoil it too much on them, because then if people haven't seen them either, we'll go through them film by film. So.
And you can watch it for the first time with me.
Yeah. But I guess it's most going to be Star Wars fans that watch it. But I think we need to wrap up, running out of time.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Next week we'll have watched Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And you will see why the Tauntauns are awesome.
Okay.
And so thanks for doing this, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.